Jay-Z, one of the most powerful figures in music, is now facing the most shocking accusation of his career, being exposed.
And the government don't really care about justice. It's like we want to get certain people off the streets. And if you could commit these murders and work for us and find somebody to put it on, cool. We just need somebody to blame. You know what I mean? And the industry kind of work like that too, because like, for example, let's say they ask me to set up somebody, right? A close friend or whatever. And they telling me to do it their way. And I'm saying it's not going to work that way because he would be suspicious of me if I tried to do it your way. So I have to do it this way. And in the industry, in that field, they have agents there too. Artists, other so-called executives who are under the actual executives, you know, like Jay-Z allegedly is responsible for Jay Prince, Suge Knight, Dame Dash, and Irv Gotti being under federal investigation because they were once trying to start their own distribution companies that would have been able to compete with companies like, you know, Universal, Sony, or whatever. And it's like, no, we can't let them get that powerful. So, I mean, Jay-Z allegedly let them know, like, look, this was going on. Like, Dame talking with Suge and Jay Prince and Irv Gotti, and they trying to establish this. So you might want to look into that. You know what I mean? And from my information, that actually happened. So, I mean, I'm someone who grew up looking up to Jay-Z. I was inspired by his music because he rapped about a lifestyle that I wanted to live, or that I was technically living. But when I found out that, wow, I'm looking up to a federal informant and we despise these type of people. So it's like, have I been allowing myself to be misled by these rappers all my life? You know what I mean? To influence me to do things that could get me incarcerated or that could get me killed and jeopardize my family, you know, that type of stuff. Like they have plants in the industry for that. And I mean, based on my information, Jay-Z is definitely one of them and the biggest of them all.
When Ronnie Bo stepped forward with his claims, the hip-hop world stopped in its tracks. His voice carried the weight of someone who had seen the industry from the inside, and his words were nothing short of explosive. He accused Jay-Z of being more than just a rap mogul or a business genius. He painted him as the ultimate informant, a man who allegedly used connections with powerful agencies to control those around him. According to Ronnie, the story isn't about Diddy at all. For years, people have focused on Sean Diddy Combs, pointing to him as the main villain behind scandals and corruption in the music scene. But Ronnie flips that narrative upside down. In his version, Diddy isn't the mastermind, he's a pawn, a decoy set up to take the fall while the real power player hides in plain sight. That power player, he insists, is Jay-Z. This claim hits at the heart of hip-hop's core values. In a culture built on loyalty, trust, and respect, being labeled a government informant is the ultimate betrayal. It means that every handshake, every deal, and every partnership could have been compromised. Ronnie suggests that Jay-Z has built his empire not only through music and business skills, but also by cooperating with institutions that want to keep the culture under control. The picture painted here is chilling. It's not just about one man's rise to fame. It's about the possibility that entire careers were destroyed because someone at the top made a call to the authorities. If true, it reframes Jay-Z's journey, transforming him from an icon of success into a shadowy figure pulling strings from behind the scenes. Ronnie Bo didn't just accuse Jay-Z in passing. He laid out a pattern that suggests a much deeper involvement in shaping the music industry. He claimed that Jay-Z played a role in tipping off federal authorities about some of hip-hop's most powerful figures, including Suge Knight, Jay Prince, Dame Dash, and Irv Gotti. Their common link? Each of them once tried to create independent distribution companies that could rival giants like Universal or Sony. If true, this paints a picture of calculated sabotage. Instead of allowing rivals to gain influence and independence, Ronnie suggests, Jay-Z alerted the right people, ensuring investigations would cripple their efforts before they became real threats. The implication is clear. Success in the music industry isn't always about talent or hustle. Sometimes it's about who controls the flow of information. This allegation cuts even deeper because these men weren't just competitors. They were symbols of independence, trying to build a future where artists could own their work and their profits. If Jay-Z truly betrayed them, it means he wasn't protecting hip-hop culture at all. He was protecting his own seat at the table. For many fans, Jay-Z represents more than just music. He's been seen as a symbol of success, resilience, and the power to rise above the struggles of the streets. Ronnie Bo's accusations cut deep because they challenge this very image. He admitted that he once looked up to Jay-Z, admired his lyrics, and even saw parts of his own life reflected in the stories Jay-Z told. But now, Ronnie says the truth has shattered that admiration, because in his eyes, Jay-Z is not a leader, but a betrayer. The heart of this betrayal lies in loyalty. In hip-hop, loyalty isn't just a word. It's the foundation of every collaboration, every crew, every rise to fame. Ronnie claims Jay-Z broke that code the moment he chose power over brotherhood. By allegedly cooperating with government agencies, Jay-Z is painted not as someone who defended the culture, but as someone who sold it out to secure his empire. This leaves fans and artists alike asking a painful question. Were they inspired by a genuine success story, or by someone secretly undermining the very movement he claimed to represent? One of the most surprising parts of Ronnie Bo's revelation is how it reframes the role of Sean Diddy Combs. For years, Diddy has carried the weight of being portrayed as hip-hop's ultimate villain, a man surrounded by scandal, lawsuits, and whispers of darker dealings. But according to Ronnie, that image is only part of the story. Diddy, he argues, is not the mastermind, but the distraction. By painting Diddy as the face of controversy, Ronnie suggests that the real strategist, Jay-Z, was able to operate quietly in the background. While the public focused on Diddy's every misstep, Jay-Z allegedly pulled the strings, building power and influence far away from the spotlight of suspicion. This flips the narrative completely. Instead of Diddy being the one who manipulated others, Ronnie claims he was maneuvered into a role where he would absorb the backlash, shielding Jay-Z from scrutiny. To fans, this version is unsettling. It doesn't just accuse Jay-Z of betrayal. It positions him as the architect of a system designed to protect himself while sacrificing others. If true, it suggests that some of hip-hop's most famous feuds and scandals may have been smokescreens hiding something much bigger. Ronnie Bo's account goes beyond simple betrayal. He describes an entire system built on fear, intimidation, and control, one where Jay-Z allegedly plays the role of enforcer as much as influencer. According to Ronnie, the industry doesn't just reward talent, it rewards obedience. The moment someone steps out of line or challenges authority, they risk being exposed, investigated, or shut down. Jay-Z's alleged role in this system is chilling. Ronnie suggests he doesn't hesitate to sell you out the moment you refuse to follow his rules. This claim paints a picture of an industry where loyalty is nothing more than a transaction, and relationships are only valuable until they no longer serve the person in power. Such accusations cut deep into hip-hop culture, which prides itself on codes of respect and unity. If the most successful figure in the game is accused of weaponizing fear and aligning with government forces, it challenges the authenticity of the entire movement. For fans and artists alike, the question becomes unavoidable. Is the culture being led by voices of truth, or by those who know how to manipulate the system best? The accusations against Jay-Z didn't stay quiet for long. As Ronnie Bo's word spread, social media exploded with reactions. Some fans were stunned into disbelief, refusing to accept that an icon who built his image on hustle and loyalty could be connected to betrayal. Others, however, said the pieces fit too well. pointing out moments in Jay-Z's career where rivals mysteriously fell, and he seemed to rise even higher. Within the hip-hop community, the debate has turned fierce. Supporters of Jay-Z highlight his decades of achievements, philanthropy, and leadership, insisting that his legacy proves his authenticity. Critics, on the other hand, argue that those very achievements could be the product of manipulation and hidden alliances. What makes these allegations so powerful is that they strike at the heart of trust. Hip-hop is more than just music. It's a culture, a movement born from struggle and authenticity. If one of its biggest leaders is accused of being a government informant, it forces fans and artists to question everything. Whether true or not, Ronnie's claims have already achieved one thing. They've opened a conversation about power, secrecy, and how much control really exists behind the curtain of the music industry. For Jay-Z, these accusations aren't just another headline. They threaten to rewrite his entire legacy. For decades, he's been celebrated as the blueprint of success, a rapper who rose from the streets of Brooklyn to become a billionaire mogul, shaping both music and business culture. But if Ronnie Bo's claims gain traction, that story begins to look very different. Instead of being remembered as a self-made icon, Jay-Z could be seen as a figure who rose to power by betraying those closest to him. Allegations of being an informant cut deeper than most scandals. In hip-hop, it's not just bad press, it's the ultimate stain on a reputation. To be called a snitch is to be branded a traitor, someone who cannot be trusted, no matter how much success they achieve. The fallout could extend far beyond Jay-Z himself. If fans start believing that the industry's biggest star built his empire through hidden deals and government ties, it could trigger a wider distrust in the culture. Every story of success might be questioned. Every alliance could be viewed with suspicion. In that sense, Ronnie Bo's accusations don't just target Jay-Z, they challenge the very foundation of hip-hop's credibility. The allegations surrounding Jay-Z have sparked one of the most intense debates in hip-hop's history. If true, they suggest that the culture's most celebrated figure may have risen to the top not only through talent and ambition, but through betrayal and secret alliances. If false, they reveal just how fragile trust is within a community that has long been wary of manipulation and control. Ronnie Bo's words hit hard because they touch on the core of what hip-hop represents: authenticity, loyalty, and resilience against systems of power. To accuse Jay-Z of being a government informant isn't just an attack on him as an individual. It's an attack on the story of hip-hop itself. It forces fans and artists to ask who really holds the power, and whether the movement they believe in has been quietly shaped from the shadows. For Jay-Z, this moment is more than a scandal. It's a crossroads that could define how future generations view his legacy. Whether he weathers the storm or sees his reputation altered forever, one thing is certain: hip-hop will never look at him or itself the same way again.